Hey, welcome to The Explainer. Look, the world of AI and data science, it's super complex, right? But here's the thing. Your path to mastering it really doesn't have to be. Today, we're going to lay out a complete roadmap to becoming an expert. And we'll use the DataEdge Academy curriculum as our guide to turn all that complexity into total clarity. This quote, it just nails it, doesn't it? The whole point of this isn't just to be employable. It's to become indispensable. We're talking about a genuine transformation into the kind of professional that companies are desperate to hire in this data-driven world. So how do we actually get there?
All right, here's our game plan. We'll start with the big picture, then we'll walk through the roadmap itself. After that, we'll look at the tools you're going to need, how you actually prove your skills, and then, finally, we'll talk about your next steps. Let's dive right in.
Okay, first things first, the why. Every single industry right now is just swimming in data. For businesses, that's a huge challenge. But for anyone who can make sense of it all, who can find that signal in the noise, it's a massive, massive opportunity. And this right here, this is the mindset you gotta have. This isn't about memorizing formulas or acing tests. It's about rolling up your sleeves to solve real problems. Things like predicting which customers might leave, making supply chains more efficient, or building apps that are actually smart. That's what makes a data professional valuable. So the big question is, how do you get from where you are now to where you want to be? Well, this journey is mapped out across 22 different modules. But, and this is important, it's not just some random collection of topics. Nope, they are all designed to form one single clear path that takes you from the absolute basics all the way to some seriously specialized skills. The whole journey is broken down into 4 really logical stages. You start by building a rock-solid foundation. The essentials like math, Python, and even AI ethics. Then you move on to mastering the core skills like machine learning. And it's only after that, once you have that solid base, that you specialize in the really exciting stuff, like robotics or generative AI. And it all culminates in that final step, launching your career with a huge project and real job prep. It's the classic walk, then run approach, and it works. So yeah, 22 modules. And that number should tell you something. This signals real depth. This isn't some weekend workshop where you just skim the surface. This is a truly comprehensive dive that covers everything, from basic programming to advanced topics like MLOps, which is how the pros actually manage AI in the real world, and even something called agentic AI. Okay, let's get into the nitty-gritty. Knowing the roadmap is one thing, but what tools are you actually going to have in your toolkit when you're done? What are you going to be able to do? This really breaks down the practical skills you'll walk away with. You'll master data analytics, you'll be building predictive models, and you'll learn how to handle absolutely massive data sets on the cloud. Plus, you're going to get hands-on with the latest in generative AI, including advanced stuff like RAG. That's Retrieval Augmented Generation. It's a fancy way of saying you make these language models way smarter by letting them pull in outside info.
Here's a perfect example of how a really core concept gets broken down. So, with supervised learning, think of yourself as a student with an answer key. You train the AI on data that's already labeled. But with unsupervised learning, it's the total opposite. You give the AI a big, messy pile of data and basically say, go find the hidden patterns. You got to master both to be effective.
And this isn't just a list of buzzwords. Think of this as a snapshot of your future resume. You'll get your hands dirty with foundational languages like Python and R, database skills with SQL, and big data tools like Spark. You'll be working on the major cloud platforms, AWS, Azure, you name it, and you'll dive deep into specialized libraries for things like computer vision and AI agent frameworks, and even data collection tools. These are the names you're going to see on job postings for sure. Now for what I think is a critical step, proving what you know. Theory is great, but a strong portfolio is what actually gets you hired. This is all about turning that knowledge into something tangible. Something you can literally show an employer and say, I built this. The centerpiece of that portfolio is going to be your capstone project. Think of it as your grand finale. Instead of a written exam, you're building a complete end-to-end solution for a real-world problem. You handle everything from the initial idea to gathering the data, all the way to deploying the final model. It's the ultimate proof that you can do the job. But listen, being a tech wizard isn't always enough to get you in the door, right? That's why the final piece of the puzzle is a complete career launchpad. It covers everything from making your resume and LinkedIn profile shine to prepping for those notoriously tough technical interviews and even building the habits you need to keep learning for your entire career, which in this field is absolutely essential.
All right, so we've covered the what and the how. Let's wrap things up by talking about the who, your guide for this journey, and exactly how you can get started.
You know, any challenging journey is way easier when you have a great guide. The whole program is led by Dr. Onoja Anthony, and he's not just a teacher, he's a dedicated coach. In a field that's this complicated, having that kind of one-on-one mentorship can make all the difference in the world. So, what does the time commitment actually look like? Well, the entire transformation is structured to happen over just 6 months. With virtual classes happening twice a week, it's definitely intense, but it's a completely achievable pace for anyone who's serious about building a new future for themselves. So we'll end right back where we started. We've laid out the entire roadmap from foundation to specialization. The path is clear, so the only question left, the one you have to answer for yourself, is this: what will you build to make yourself indispensable?